guys, I'm Sarah. I'm a holistic nutritionist and a certified personal trainer. So today on this course, I kind of just want to go over basic nutrition guidelines, macros, and basic tips for your health journey ahead. So first we'll just talk about making your plate. So move my face out of the way. So your basic plate with every meal should look like this. So half of your plate should be fiber-filled carbs, so fruits, veggies, beans, and then a quarter of it should be protein, so preferably animal-based protein since they are complete proteins. So this can be something like beef, chicken, eggs, fish, turkey, and then the last quarter of it should be some fats, so nuts, seeds, butter, avocados, egg yolks. Just something to be mindful of that most animal proteins do contain fat as well. So let's first talk proteins. So proteins are broken down into amino acids, and these amino acids are used throughout our body to perform a variety of actions. So they can do things like synthesize hormones, they help maintain our cell structure, they create antibodies that support immunity, and they help produce muscle contraction and movement. So there's 20 amino acids, and the body can make 11 of them, and the rest we have to get through our diet, and most of these we get through animal proteins. So how much? So our protein needs tend to be higher with illness, physical activity, and pregnancy. Basic rule of thumb, the easiest way to think of it, I like to say 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight. So say you're 150 pounds right now, but you should be 130 based on your height, then you should be consuming 130 grams of protein per day. The easiest way to do that is if I have to consume, 130 grams of protein per day, I divide that amount over how many meals that I'm eating that day, and then I'll have that much protein with each meal. So protein provides the body with 4 calories per 1 gram of protein. So if I have 1 gram of protein, that's going to provide me with 4 calories. So some protein sources, so we have meat, so chicken, pork, lamb, beef, bison, venison, and then we have non-meat proteins such as pasture-raised eggs, gelatin, and bone broths. We have milk. I do prefer grass-fed, pasture-raised, of course. Shellfish, regular fish. We have our cheeses, so ricotta, Parmesan Reggiano, mascarpone, and cottage cheese, and Greek yogurt. We do like to make sure that the cottage cheeses and the Greek yogurts are free of fillers and chemicals, so get used to reading those nutrition labels. So plant-based proteins, so here are some plant-based proteins. So lentils, there's 9 grams of protein in a half a cup. Chickpeas, 7.5 grams per half a cup. Hemp seed, they have 10 grams per 3 tablespoons. Tofu, 9 grams per 3 ounces. Quinoa, 8 grams per cup. Nutritional yeast, 8 grams per quarter cup, and black beans, 7.5 grams per half cup. So just be mindful that with these plant-based proteins, that they could be higher in carbs and fats when you're trying to create these balanced meals. So let's talk carbs. So carbs are the gas that fuels our engines or our bodies. So carbs, when they're eaten, they get broken down into glucose, which fuels our cells or creates heat or energy in our cells. So our muscles need carbs. So they're stored glucose, which is called glycogen, and when the glycogen stores get depleted, our bodies will break down our own tissues to provide energy for our cells when we are exercising. So it's really important to eat carbs and kind of avoid those low-carb diets. So just like protein, 1 gram of carbohydrates gives us 4 calories. And I like to say 40 to 65% of your calories should come from carbs. And this also depends on how active you are as well. So what types of carbs? So when it comes to carbs or any macronutrients, I prefer trying to fit in as much nutrients as possible. So having a nice colorful plate full of starchy carbs and fruit has a lot more nutrients than your prepackaged grab and go foods. So organic fruits, root vegetables are best. And of course, veggies and grains, I always recommend going organic. There's a scale called the glycemic index where carbs get rated based on how much they raise your blood sugar after eating. So these whole foods and fruits tend to be lower on the glycemic index due to the fiber content. So fiber-filled carbs are best. So some examples. So we have sourdough bread, my favorite. We have rice, potatoes, carrots, legumes, whole grains, oats, chickpeas, fruit, quinoa, cruciferous veggies such as Brussels, broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage. So let's talk fats. Fats help protect our vital organs. So they're needed for the absorption of vitamins, they help us produce hormones, and they help regulate our blood sugar. When we consume fats, they get broken down into fatty acids. So 20 to 30% of our daily calories should be coming from fat. So fat's different from protein and carbs because 1 gram of fat provides 9 calories. So they are more calorically dense. And let's see, types of fats that we have here. So we have saturated fats, polyunsaturated fats, and trans fats or rancid fats. So saturated fats, they have gotten a bad rap in the past, but they are super important. These fats, they are solid at room temperature, and these fats contain high amounts of fat-soluble vitamins, such as vitamins A, D, and K2. So a lot of these saturated fats are found in animal products, so meats and cheeses and milks. So they are known to help strengthen the immune system, support metabolism, and provide material for building our hormones. Of course, everything in moderation, though. And then we have polyunsaturated fats, which are omega-3s and omega-6s. And these are essential because our body does not make them, so we have to get them through our diets. And we need a balance of omega-3 to omega-6s. And in today's everyday life, most people have a balance of omega-6s that are greater than their omega-3s. So that's something that we need to be mindful of, including more omega-3s into our diets and kind of getting less of the omega-6 fatty acids. And then we have trans fats and rancid fats. So we want to avoid these. So unsaturated fats can be converted into trans fats when they're exposed to high heat. And these trans fats, they can disrupt our sex hormones, they can cause inflammation and interfere with fertility. So a lot of these trans fats are found in our fried foods. So more fats that we love. So fish, cod liver oil, coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, fats from animals such as lard, tallow, and duck fat, grass-fed butter, ghee, full-fat organic cow dairy, full-fat organic goat or sheep dairy, grass-fed beef, and pasture-raised eggs. And then our plant-based fats, almonds, avocados, Brazil nuts, cashews, chia seeds, coconut milk, flaxseed, hazelnuts, hemp seed, nut butters, olives, pine nuts, pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, and walnuts. Okay, so let's talk about how we're supposed to eat. So these are basic principles, but kind of important. So you want to make sure that you are actually chewing your food. So chewing your food releases digestive enzymes. And so if we don't chew and we kind of just scarf down our food and swallow, this can kind of lead to a bacterial overgrowth in the gut. So take your time and chew your food. And next, sit and be present. So sit and take a couple deep breaths before you're eating. Make sure you're not eating on the go, eating and multitasking. We really want our body in that rest and digest mode. So focus on sitting, breathing, and being present with every meal. And then drink liquids after, not during. So we need a nice strong stomach acid in our stomach with digestion. And sometimes if we drink a lot of water, this can kind of dilute the acid in our stomach. So eat your food, give yourself time to digest before chugging all your drinks. Okay, and tools needed to track. So if you plan on tracking your macros, you're gonna need some tools. So you're gonna need a scale, you're gonna need measuring cups, measuring spoons, meal prep containers, and a macro tracking app. So I will link the one that I use below, and I will also leave a link for all my meal prepping essentials as well. And then when you are learning to track your food and counting your macros, here are some tips. So I find it easiest to create deconstructed meals. So having like 1 to 2 protein, carb, and fat on your plate. So I like doing like bowls. So where I have like rice or potato as my carb, and then I pick my protein. So I'll do like chicken, beef, turkey, whatever it is, and then add some fat, like add some avocado, add some greens on there, and just kind of create a fancy little bowl. You can throw some sauce on there if you would like. So say you have a huge thing of rice prepped, a huge thing of chicken prepped, and a huge thing of, I don't know, roasted veggies, and then some avocado. You can easily grab and measure from each thing and create it into a bowl. So it kind of makes things easier. Next, plan and prep. So you want to make sure you have everything ready to go so you don't reach for some prepackaged foods that do not fit in your macro. So plan and prep. So grocery shop. Make a list of everything that you need. Prep everything. Prep 1 to 2 proteins or carbs, and like have everything stacked, ready to go in the fridge. And you also want to eat what you track. So try to plan everything the night before and have everything packed up, ready to go, so your day is just super easy. And then keep foods consistent. So when you eat the same types of foods, it kind of makes everything easier to just copy and paste in your app from day to day. You can kind of create recipes, and you can favorite your favorite foods that you eat all the time. So that kind of makes it easier. So, move my face down. An app that I like to use is Chronometer. So I will leave a link for this, but I really like this for tracking my macros because it also gives me all my micronutrients, and it gives me so much information. It gives me targets for micronutrients, which I think is very important. And there you have more access on the free version versus other tracking apps.